that was awesome. That film was awesome. I think you have no problems with the words. Um,
Thank you. Yeah, we just watched my latest film. Maybe I can show you a little bit again of the snippets, but not the whole film.
yeah, and then
But anyways, as I said, it's about yeah, I like working with different formats in a film, in a short film. I work with recorded screens, more essayistic forms, more typical narratives, typical fictional approaches, but also it goes a bit more towards documentary sometimes. As I said, it starts like it has really different forms. It starts like a normal fiction film, and then you have this museum space in the film.
I think the being
And
involved
this,
with the art. Yeah, there it is. That's cool.
yeah, and then the
That
sky
looks
part, just artifacts.
that looks painterly. I just really like it.
And towards the end, it becomes more like an essay film.
Honestly, it just touches on obsessions that I have too. So I mean, I don't mean to be like, oh, I love it because it's my obsessions too, but I am a little bit like that. Um, because there's immigrant experience stuff, of course. That's really what it's about to me, and then how you reimagine like history through that experience when you're have left it, have left the native country, and like you're I mean you're basically you're like my parents. My parents left Honduras for the United States, for New York, a long
Hmm.
time ago. But image is the thing to me, really, and that's why I was like, I don't really feel like you should worry too much about the words, because you're talking to image and you're with image. You're using image to talk to image, and that's the deal. That's the real thing. I think that's awesome.
I guess that's a common ground we have in the, we could say in general. But I mean, did you think about what could be our approach? Like, I mean, I watched the film, and I mean, yes, you work with words
Yes.
mostly, of course. And I watched your film. It was, I also found it very interesting the way also you work with images and words together. And then I also saw something in common there actually, how we work with it.
Yeah, totally.
I don't know.
I think we totally um the issue is like language, and not like the language
Mm,
is not really words. The language is image also, you know. Like you're between English and German and Turkish. That stops all making sense. That's why image is like the common ground, you know? And same with me. Like, I mean, I speak English, but I grew up in Spanish in the household, in my house, and I speak Spanish too. And then even with my family, there are degrees of literacy. Like my father read a lot, and my mother really didn't read a lot. So that's why she loves soap operas. Soap operas are a really common story, right? She really loves that kind of story. But now she's watched so many actually. I'm seeing her like rebel against those stories. It's interesting. She's getting sick of them. Um, and she, I think wants to tell her story sometimes. And it's just funny. But it's all like language, so we have a language conversation, I think, here.
yeah, finding the common language.
Hmm. Like you were saying, the antiquities were Greek, but they were from Anatolia,
Yeah, yeah,
right? So already, like, that's even an ancient mixing of culture, right? Like the Greeks in another place.
yeah. That's fascinating. That's like what's also more fascinating also for me is even taking images of these things in the museum is that you have copyright problems, etc. Even, yeah, using imagery in commercial sense
So
of
you
these
could take
objects is kind of blocked, but
so
etc.
you
Yeah,
could
but
take the
anyways, that's
image
just one
inside
project.
the museum. You could take that image inside the museum, but not outside. You were saying, without permission.
No, both.
Oh, both. Wow.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for me, actually, working with a smaller team, as small as possible, even on my own, is the best, and without permissions, and just me, my camera, my sound recorder. That's the best ideal, of course.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
as good as it gets. And in that sense, I actually envy people like you, also like writers, also, and yeah, if you work like in any kind, like
Just
when you
deal with
can
your own
just
self.
sit down and work.
Yeah.
That's actually something that I envy. Of course, for script writing, it's similar, but in production of the film, it's always,
You deal with a
it
lot of
can
things.
become too big, too much of a hassle.
I envy filmmakers, really, honestly, but so that's good. I think this is a good situation. Um, yeah, let me write. Writing is pretty simple. It's just you and the thing and the paper and stuff. But yeah,
It's not simple, but it's you
right. It's
have
not
to be,
complicated in
you
that.
depend on yourself,
Yes, yes.
and I like that.
So would you say you were always like a more visual person or a more word?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely, I am. I mean, before that, I also worked a lot just with camera, for working for other people's projects. I am, yeah, I think definitely first of all in images, and then words, and they really come the last, and images and the rhythm of the images for me. So editing of the images.
I'm surprised how the visual has become so important to me. I didn't think I would be. I mean, really, it's just the phones and the digital cameras, and even when there were digital cameras, like in 2005 or six, when they were really happening, that's when I really got into it. Because I could see the image. I was like, you could see it on the screen, and you didn't. It wasn't blind the way real photography is, where it's just the little viewfinder. Um, and but I say words because when I was little, that's just what happened. Like I just my family came here a long time, like 40, 50 years ago, and I was born here, and they were speaking in Spanish at home, but I was really quickly getting picking up English everywhere, like in preschool, and my father would bring me these like cassettes, and I would learn from cassettes. But honestly, I teach English now. I've been teaching English for 10 years, 15 years, and I teach writing. And the more I teach that, the less I feel like I have a grasp on the English language. Like I'm losing it. Like I think writing, and then you work with so many people who have so many different degrees of skill with the writing, and honestly, I'm in New York where everyone is from everywhere, right? From everywhere. So you get, it's like Babylon. It's like I teach in Babylon, and
Yeah,
you lose language, and you pick up other people's language. Should I show you? Should I show my video a little?
yeah, please do it. Yeah,
Cool.
it'd be great.
In this pod, this vessel, a crack known only to mice and water bugs, reverting to roller coaster origins, one high hour, one low. I don't have to show it all, but all the music they leave behind. I hope I leave enough music behind. It is as wrong to think you are nothing, you have nothing to contribute, as it is to think you are everything, that none of it could be without you. I am the night keeper, time breaker, shouldn't go to bed without singing. Yeah, it's like actually it was like during, the beginning of the pandemic,
Mm-hmm.
and I couldn't write. I'm still not really writing that much. I write in my journal here and there. And so I just sort of cut up old poems of mine and put pieces of them together. It was like all I could edit. I couldn't write, I could edit.
Yeah,
And
that's great, and I like how the lyrics also came in. It's again about the language, because the black empty space, if you use it for a function, if
mm,
it has a function, then why not? it's perfectly usable. Maybe, yeah, that's just a second. I'm sharing my screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the museum part of the film, I just wanted to create this empty space. That's as much space as I wanted to give the museum. Basically, just a little square
Okay.
in the screen, its own place in the film.
So this
And
all of this is black space around it
yeah,
or
it's
to the
just
side because the rest fills out. Oh yeah.
yeah. Yeah, when it was full screen, it was as if I was trying to amaze the audience with these great
Mm. Oh,
majestic objects, which is the point of the museum anyways. You go into this room and they are huge. You are supposed to be amazed by them. They are amazing, of course, but did you also start with just images first, or
I think so.
you
Yeah.
edited them?
I went into the phone and found all the dance videos. And because I think the world likes dance videos. That's all the world wants is dance videos. Because of TikTok, like TikTok is fully dance videos.
Okay.
Um, because of Beyonce and everybody who just dances, and that's the language of the world. Um, and I put it in iMovie on the phone. I did most everything on the phone at first, and then I moved it to the DaVinci Resolve. And the other obsession of that film was putting the titles on, putting the words on it.
Mhm.
That was like hours. Like, and I
Yeah.
was obsessed and I loved doing it. And I was like, ooh, maybe. And when I got to put the words
Yeah.
on top where it was in black, I was so happy. That's like my happiest moment. I was like, I
Yeah.
moved the text up. It was fun. So
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
friend
Yeah. That's
Isabella taught me how to do all that.
I like this change too, and it's actually also, yeah, that makes me think. I mean, for subtitles, always there's the standard space, standard size, standard font. You have to work with standard timing. But yes, placement of text words on the image is anyways, there is an infinite, of course, way of doing
Yeah.
it. And that's something maybe we can think about also of using.
It was a lot of work, and I only did that one in 1 year. Like, you know, like I don't do those that often. Like that's the most extensive one. I've done other things, but that was probably the most successful one. I've done things with like still. I have like stuff on Vimeo, just but they're very
Mhm.
rudimentary, and I mean that's still rudimentary. I mean it's always gonna be rudimentary when I do it. When I do it, it's always gonna be amateur. I use the phone first of all. I don't even have a real camera or anything.
Yeah,
What are your
that's
cameras?
fine.
You have real cameras. Like even for the
No,
ping.
I don't have any cameras. I just have my phone.
Really?
I mean, of course, I didn't shoot the films on the phone, but
What
it's
about the ping
always,
pong?
it's also shot on this.
How was the shot on the camera? Oh, look at that. That
Mm,
I thought that was another camera.
no,
What is it? You have an iPhone?
no, it's a Google Pixel
Ah,
4A. It's called, yeah, Google Pixel.
I mean there. Different. It looked different. It looked different. So I thought it was
Mm,
something else. But yeah, I guess the cameras don't matter.
No, I believe not.
You're like nothing matters. Vertical doesn't
No,
matter.
it doesn't matter.